This video is to show the new scheduling functionality that NewOrg has added that allows you to look at a week at a glance for specific departments or staff members to see what their availability is, and then overlaying the appointments that they have that go with that availability so that you can see what their openings are, and then also by mousing over who the clients are that they're seeing. We're starting here in the home page. One thing to remember is that what shows in most views is based on who's logged into the system. So we're logged in as David Crouch here. We're at the home page. I'm going to go to the event page, which is the calendar in NewOrg. Now, we're starting out, okay, I was in here earlier, so we're seeing a calendar of activities, except it's starting on Tuesday, January the 8th. What we want this to do is start on January the 7th. Today is actually the 9th, and I want to be able to show this week at a glance based on a certain start date. So what we need to do is go to the day that we want the calendar to start on, and then come up here and click on Schedule. So see, we're starting on Monday, January the 7th. Now, what I've done is, for David Crouch and Hazel Felleman, who are in the correct department, I've shown staff availability. Now notice, as our view starts out, we have really all of the staff members in here. We have not done any filtering. So let's filter by the case management department. I'm over in the filter area here. I'm clicking Find. Okay, great. Now, it resets when we're doing these different functions where we're changing major items that the system is trying to screen by. So let's go back to Monday the 7th, which is what we want the start day to be. We still have the filter by case management, and I'm going to click Schedule. And now you can see we have the schedule for the week starting on Monday. David Crouch, Hazel Felleman, and Mario Coriel are our staff members. And notice one thing too, what we're going to do initially is set availability in a big picture sense for Mario with recurring markers in here to show his regular schedule over a 2-week period from the 7th through the 18th. Now you could set availability for a month at a time if you wanted to. That's not really a problem. But what we want to do is set it up because our therapists are not scheduled to come in on the weekends. I don't want to show availability on the weekends when we create a recurring event. So I'm going to show you how that works. So we're all set up here. We have times for David and for Hazel. I'm going to click on next week because this is through Saturday the 13th, which is, or rather Sunday the 13th, which is our first week. And then I want to take a look and see if we have the recurring set up for them through the following week. Okay, great. Finishing on February the 18th right here. And then we're showing no availability on the weekend. So I'm going to come back to the previous week. And let's go ahead and set up Mario's schedule for both the morning and the afternoon. We set these up as 2 different events because we'll set up a block of time and then create a recurring activity for it. So I'm coming up here to Calendar to add. Notice also what my version of the internet browser did is it opened up a new window. It's possible that yours may open up a new tab. Same difference, it's just this one opens up a new window. I'm going to go directly here to the Create Recurrence option. I haven't made any changes in the basic setup, but since this is going to be a recurring event, I want to move to Create Recurrence. Okay, we need a start date. So our start date is right here. We agreed it's going to be Monday, January the 7th. That's good. I want to recur every 1 day, and I only want this to happen on the weekday. So real important, click the recur every weekday button here. We're going to have an end date. We decided that end date is on the 18th, Friday the 18th. So we're going to recur every day, only during the week through the 18th. Okay, our start date is on the 7th. Now our start time, our hours for everybody is 9 until 12 in the morning. So let's have that be my default here. 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. Real important, don't go to 12 a.m. because that's actually an end time prior to the start time at 9 a.m. So we need to take this to p.m. So let's just be sure everything's correct. I've already noticed two things we didn't click on. This event type is staff availability. So that's the event type that we're seeing here. See, when I mouse over, it says staff availability. That's the event type in here. So that needs to be created in your drop-down menu. Now also, we're doing this for Mario Coriel. Remember, since we're logged in as David Crouch, that's who an activity is initially assigned to. I'm changing the assignment over to Mario Coriel, and we should be pretty much good to go. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Okay, great. I'm going to go down here. I'm right-clicking. I'm going to hit Refresh. Okay, excellent. There is Mario, and I have my morning schedule set up. Now, David here, let's look at how we would go in and change that schedule. Remember, we created a recurring event. David's was done the same way. He has an activity. He's speaking at a technical conference, and it's only from 10 to 11, but essentially he's not going to be in the morning here. So what I want to do is just change his availability to reflect him not being in at all. Okay, this is opening up for us now. Now, this is his availability in the morning on Tuesday, January the 8th. See, on the 8th, 9 until 12. What you do, remember, NewOrg is a HIPAA compliant system, so you cannot just erase activities, but what you can do is void them out. So we're going to void his availability in the morning. So I've gone down to status, I've clicked void out of the options, I'm clicking save. Let's wait for it to refresh. Okay. I'm going back to the underlying record, and we want this to disappear so that nobody thinks he's going to be available. In other words, he has no availability. Okay, it's doing the overall refresh. So let's go back to his schedule. And notice now, on Tuesday, January the 8th, he has no morning availability. Now let's make another little change. Let's say Hazel has to leave at 3 o'clock for a doctor's appointment here on Wednesday the 9th. This would work exactly the same way. I'm coming down here. So what we're going to do is shorten her availability from 1 until 5 to 1 until 3. So I'm clicking on the event where it says edit the event. It's that easy to go in and edit an event. And I am just simply changing her availability until 3 p.m. coming down and saving it. Okay, great. I'm clicking on the underlying record. I'm right-clicking with my mouse. I'm hitting refresh. Okay, we're back to Monday. Let me go back to the schedule view and see Hazel now on Wednesday is only available from 1 o'clock until 3 o'clock. Please watch the video Scheduling Staff Availability Part 2 to see how easily you can schedule new appointments, as well as making changes to ones that are already entered.